Hey guys, Joebizz34 back again with a quick review on this Jason or Sideshow exclusive 1/6 Jason Voorhees from Part 3, from Friday the 13th Part 3. It's been a long time since they've come out with anything new as far as in the horror realm, as far as updating their older Jason figures, and this is the first. And really quick, it comes with the base that you see the Friday the 13th logo on there. I think it would have been nice if they would have had something a little more graphic, colorful there. Extra hands, for holding the different weapons and stuff, simply. Comes with the machete, which is actually very nicely weathered. It has like the blood splatter on it. It looks cool. It almost looks like it's metal, even though it's not. But it does have a realistic look, at least enough to, get the point across. And of course the axe, which also is very nicely painted. Pretty accurate to the one he used in the movie. And of course, the exclusive comes with the extra hand grip, holding the spear and the spear gun. Both are. This hand and gun is part of the exclusive. The spear gun is very nice. Comes with the elastic feeling strap there that has the ready to fire the spear that he infamously used in the movie. This is a nice little extra gadget to have, even if you're gonna use it as a eventually use this like with a custom Jason or something else. It's still nice to have this piece. Looks very nice, very detailed. So overall, the figure is cool. Now I'm going to show you something I took out here. This is the adapter that was in the head, and gigantic. And I don't know why, because if you look inside the head, there's a groove in there that looks like if this adapter had a little bit of an indentation here, it would actually fit better, and then you wouldn't have a gap. Now when you remove the adapter, or if you replace the adapter, you can see you have no gap in the neck. So I did a couple of quick mods, and that was the first one I did. I removed that adapter so that the head and the neck meet more seamlessly. Second thing I did was moved up the t-shirt underneath to make sure it's showing at the neckline. By default, this is snapped up a little higher with a snap that was right here that I actually removed, and you couldn't really see the detail here of the undershirt. So I picked the undershirt up. I cushioned him here. He had like kind of like a V-shaped figure. He looked slightly thin. Wasn't, he needed to be slightly a little chubbier around the waist area. So I did pad him here with some material. And then of course I removed the snap here, which I'm going to work on smoothing that out more so you can't even see that there was something should have been there. But I think it has a much more natural fit that way. And finally I glued the collars down as others did. The collar kind of sticks up and is almost by his ears. So I glued them down to stay on his shoulder area there. So I think it looks much better like this. Now, obviously the head sculpt, there's been a lot of controversy. I have not, before anybody asks, I have not removed the mask yet. I know the mask could be pried off, and there is a face, or somewhat of a face sculpt under there. And to be frank, I don't even think the face sculpt is good enough to be worth even going through the trouble. I'm glad certain people did so that we could see it. And then people are like, are you going to do it? I'm like, well, there's really no point, because one, I'm either going to display him with the mask on, or B, I'm probably going to end up replacing this head altogether with some customs ones that are going to probably come out to replace it that'll be more accurate and have an accurate mask. Because although I think the mask is good, the mask is not accurate. Oh, you can see there's my kitty cat walking up the stairs there. Guest appearance as I'm doing the video. But the mask is nice. It is for 1/6 scale. And, it's nice that you could see his eyes through it like that. I think that's really cool. But I think the mask is not the right shape completely. It's a little off. It should be a little bigger, a little elongated. It should have that little, that little extra ridge that kind of comes out at the bottom. So it's nice, and it's definitely an improvement for Sideshow, as far as their standards. But it definitely has some improvement there. So, if the face sculpt underneath was complete and looked accurate, I probably would go through the trouble. But since it doesn't, and it looks kind of incomplete and weird, I'm not going to even bother. What I'm ultimately probably going to do is I'm probably going to replace this head altogether with a custom one. There's a few customers out there that have come up with one. One in particular, I'm not mentioning any names right now until it's official, but one in particular I think is making one specifically to replace this one, and I think I might end up going that route. But overall, it's a nice figure. It's worth, I would have liked to have seen a second head sculpt for the price, or maybe the price being a little cheaper. I think at the price point, this is a little pricey for what you get. But I will say the body is nice and sturdy. You can pose him, and he could stand really well whether he's on the stand or not. He's got nice height and presence. with a couple of mods, he could be something very special, you know. And I think for Sideshow, this was definitely raising the bar a bit and improving. Definitely improving from their old original one from years ago. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. I do like that some of the details. The clothing is actually pretty accurate, although for some reason, I don't know why, but on film and in pictures, it always like changes the appearance of the color. As you can see, even in this video, the shirt has a very almost a grayish or dark tint to it that, you know, in person you could see it's actually green. It is the right color green, and the pants are pretty, you know, pretty much that khaki color or that light beige color, almost gray. And they, you know, they do a little weathering on the bottom and the shoes, which is nice. You can see some splatter on the shoes. So, I mean, overall, it's very nicely done. And it doesn't come off as well on film, I notice, or pictures than it does in person. I can't really understand why. But see, maybe in the light, you can kind of see the color changes a bit. Maybe there you could pick it up a little more. But trust me, in person, it is more of a hunter's or light green kind of, not light green, but like a hunter, maybe like a dark green, greenish. And you could definitely tell that in person more. Where on film, like I notice a lot of people's pictures, even though some are really awesome, it changes the color of the shirt and it looks like a navy blue, or it looks dark or almost black in some pictures, or gray, even in my pictures. So I don't know why it does that, but trust me, in person, I don't think you'd have a problem with the color. And the clothing and the material are actually very nice. They don't feel cheap. They almost feel like they were done by a custom tailor. So, again, I have no problem. And I don't have a problem with the lack of weathering. Some people have complained about the weathering, and if you want your Jason more muddy and bloody, you know, go for it. But, you know, in the film, in Jason Part 3, he was kind of clean. You know, he got dirtier as the movie went along to the end, and then in Part 4 and so on. But he was relatively clean in Part 3 because he had just gotten this outfit, and there wasn't really a lot of wear and tear on it yet. So I don't have a problem with it being, you know, a little light on the weathering side. So overall, I would score this figure after the mod. Before the mods, I give the figure about a 6.5. After the modding that I did, I made it a little better, I think. I would give it closer to like a 7.5. But at the price point, I'm going to drop it down to 7 because, out of 10, of course, because I think the price point should have been a little cheaper. You know, they should have either lowered the price to like maybe under 2, or they should have added that second head sculpt they originally were going to do, so that you would feel that it's a little more worth the extra change that you're paying for them. But again, if you're a big Jason freak or fan, or if you're looking for a good foundation to start building a custom, and you want the clothes and the weapons and all that stuff, you know, that are really cool. I mean, they're really well done. This is definitely a great starting point, you know, to building up your dream, you know, Ultimate Part 3 Jason, compared to the older stuff from back when. The outfit I have to say the outfit I would score close to a 10 as far as the feel of it, the quality, the color scheme. Like I said, again, even though it doesn't really display it, you know, on film properly, overall, you know, it is a nice figure. And if you're a fan of horror and Jason, I definitely think it's worth picking it up. Try to get the spear gun version if you can, so you have that extra nice accessory to use either with this or a custom, and go from there. And if I do any more mods to it, or if I eventually change the head, I'll do an update video down the road, or, you know, obviously show pictures and stuff on the forums. All right, quick review. Till next time, Joebizz34. Peace out.